But at any rate, I called over there, and the nice pharmacy lady said, well, we filled that a long time ago. I don't know what the holdup is. So she says, let me put a trace on it. She said, that's still in the mailroom. And I will guarantee you that Dr. Worley went down there and told them don't mail it out. Because he's the one that told them not to call me for 6 months with my prostate exam, my biopsy results. And see, that's his way. That's how they kill people. The VA is actually the people who are responsible for the suicides. They're creating them every day. If you follow the money, who wins when a veteran kills himself? The VA does. They spend less money on that veteran, and their bonuses then go up proportionately, and that's what their goal is. Worley's in charge of bonuses. He's also has the purse strings for guys like Dr. Clipper here, and he can put them out of business and ruin their lives overnight. And I think it's time we do something to stop Dr. Worley, and that's why his name is on the sign. He declared war on me, and I've reciprocated. I'm returning the war, but I will do it with truth, honesty, integrity, and the Christian way.
So do you plan, how long do you plan to keep the protest going?
I'm going to be here every day. About noon it gets a little hot for me. I'd like to stay longer than noon, but I'm going to be here every morning from 9 to noon as long as I can, or until I expire here on the sidewalk along the side of the road. And I know it sounds weird and crazy to say something like that, but if I die here in front of the VA, there will be some changes made. Dr. Worley will be taken care of, and I can stop other veterans from, and that's what I'm here. I'm not here for me. My life is over. I'm here to stop other veterans from having to go through what I have to go through. The VA director told me one man cannot change the VA. And I told him one man 2,000 years ago changed the culture of the world. And I'm not putting myself in his category, but I see what I'm doing is a mission. I'm kind of like the Blues Brothers. I'm on a mission from God.
Right on. So Tammy, what inspired you to come out and do this?
I was next door, and I haven't been working or doing nothing for a while, quite honestly. I read the sign. I knew this man was a veteran. My father was a veteran. All my brothers and sisters. My son just come home 6 months ago from the Air Force, and sometimes you just got to pass it forward. My father committed suicide, sir. 3 of my son's compadres, while he was in training for his service duties, did the same thing, all within a 6-month span. My son was prescribed so much medication that he wound up, though honorable, getting a discharge from the Air Force because they'd rather feed him medicine than help him with his issues. And
they use the medication
from God. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. The medication puts them in limbo.
They don't care.
They don't go to the VA no more. They don't bother them anymore, and that's what they want. At one time, they had me. This was like 30 years ago. They had me on 4 drugs that had a 10% suicide rate. Can you imagine that? Why would they do that? Well, that's to their advantage. And I had gone to Congress back then because there was this deal where all of the Rangers that I served with, we all had the same set of symptoms. And those symptoms were, joints, couldn't walk, inflammation throughout the whole body, cognitive difficulties. Well, it turns out there was a parasite in Vietnam. And when the guys from World War II came home, they were treated for that parasite and they went on with their lives. The VA dropped the ball on treating us from Vietnam on that parasite. It was in the groundwater over there, and it just wreaked havoc with all of our lives. And I got to tell you, we would be so much better off without the VA. And the reason I say that is they're not doing the job. If they would get out of the way, we would get somebody that would do the job. So by having them there, they're really hurting us. And I love Trump. I think he's a good man. But when he made the third guy down the rung from the secretary of the VA, when he promoted him into the secretary position, he just rolled forward everything that they've been doing for the last 89 years. It's almost 100 years, but the same thing over and over. It is said many times that I've heard that if you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. And that's where I'm at. I see that if they're going to do the same thing over and over again, I see that somebody has to do something big, and that's what I'm doing here right now. And I hope and pray that you and I are part of something that goes completely viral, that really does something to change the deal. That's the VA calling me.
You should take the call. See what happens.
Okay.